First map is going to be Overgrowth, with Targa spawning in the top right location as the blue Zerg player, and his opponent Verdi spawning in the bottom as the red Protoss player. Now already we can see something interesting. Usually on this map you see Protoss players go for a forge expansion with a pylon just right here, or maybe right here, depending on your preference. But it's easier and faster to construct a wall if you put the pylon here. Whereas Verdi looks like he's going to be opening with a gateway or possibly a nexus first, which is a pretty strong opening versus a Zerg player that is really macro orientated. Targa, I don't know. He's been known to punish greedy players in the past, so Verdi might think twice about a nexus first, and indeed he opens with a gateway, immediately gets a low ground pylon and goes for a 15 scout. He's going to be getting, he also is getting the gas, so I wonder if he'll get a nexus before the cybernetics core, or if he'll just try to open as safely as possible. In the meantime, Targa did get a hatchery first. He's sending a drone down now, so this is potentially to scout for any probes, any shenanigans. Although by this time he has to know that this wasn't a forge opening, because he did not see that probe enter the base very quickly in the beginning of the game. So Verdi also does get a good scout. Sees no gases, and more importantly, he sees no spawning pool. Look how he's coming back here. He's trying to... There he sees the pool going down after a 3-minute mark. Which, you know, this could be a normal timing, but it also could signify to Verdi that, hey, you took a third hatch before going that pool. So the greediest of greedy openings from Targa, and this might actually not be very bad for Verdi to go up against if he follows this opening up with a 4-gate pressure off of 2 bases, which probably he's not, because he's already taking an additional gas, but he could still put on a lot of pressure towards that 3rd base. The fact that Targa did not get a gas reasonably quickly, and he got greedy 3rd hatch before a pool, you can punish that. You can definitely punish that with heavy gateway play. So let's see what buildings Verdi will be throwing down. And yep, 1 gateway. Is he going to get a 2nd one? That's the question. Also thinking about mid-game a little bit, getting those sentries. So 3 gates. Are we going to see another pylon over here? Yep. And Targa, well, he's just about to have 100 gas, so he can get that link speed and then pull drones off gas, or maybe just leave them in. No, he's pulling them off, starts the link speed immediately, leaves 1 drone in, however, so that he can get up to lair eventually, but for the time being he'll be looking to build as many drones as possible. He's going to scout the front of his opponent, wants to know on how many gates he is. It will be relatively difficult to scout if there's going to be a gateway pressure or not, because he cannot see if the chrono boost is going down onto the cybernetics core or not. But regardless, if he sees that or not, he has to account for the possibility. So he should be producing, after this larva pop, he should be producing at least a couple of links. He is checking the map, looking for pylons. And if he doesn't find any pylons, he's going to think, well, I'm safe. I don't need any units right now. He is, however, getting the Spinecrawler at the front just in case. And we have a Forge follow-up from Verdi, so he's definitely thinking mid-game. Going to do a little sentry poke with the Mothership Core. That's always nice to do. Force out a couple of units, and we can see 16 links in production, synced up with the metabolic boost upgrade, so the links should hatch just as that upgrade finishes. Followed by roaches. Targa really is expecting heavy pressure here, I'd say, because those roaches, I don't know if those were needed. 10 more lings. So, okay, this is not just for defense. Targa is going to be counter-attacking with those units, trying to punish the fast third from Verdi, since he knows that all of Verdi's units are out here trying to do damage at his third. He's going to lose the queen in the very least, but the third has successfully been cancelled. Actually, I think it was not cancelled at all, looking at the resources lost, so that's a clear loss for Verdi right there. And he had to recall back home, making Targa's third base absurdly safe right now, and he can rest easy knowing that the Protoss does not have a third base. His initial poke did not work, so he can go up that layer, drone up like crazy, and then go immediately into Hydralisks is what I would do, but Targa, you know, it's his decision to make. Robo on the way. Targa going to see how late that Robo is. Actually, he's not. Backs off just before seeing it. Oh, that's a lot of force fields baited out, but at the same time, that's a moderate amount of lings being lost from Targa. You just don't want to lose these lings. You want to kind of use them to keep map control, to keep denying the third base. Now Verdi, he also has a secondary plan here. 4 additional gateways just about to finish up, synced in with his +1 attack upgrade, but Targa, he sees this, and realistically I doubt this is going to be used offensively rather than defensively, because there are no pylons out on the map. So Targa takes his liberty to establish a 4th base over here and goes up to that Hydralisk den. Nice moves all around. +1 attack on the way, as well as Glio Reconstitution for the roaches. Constantly poking and prodding at the Protoss player to see what kind of an army composition he has. And Verdi, while he's doing the... he's not going to go Colossus, at least not very quickly. He's getting Blink +2, a couple of Immortals. Is pretty much going to add on a couple more gateways after these 2 finish. He's going to go ham on Blink Stalkers. So these sentries are pretty important right now. You don't want to be having to replace these. And also they allow you to scout with the hallucination. So what has Verdi actually seen? That's the question. Not much. It doesn't look like he saw the Hydroden. I'm not sure if he saw any Hydras out on the field already. There are none to be found, so for the time being he can assume that, hey, this is just roaches and lings. I'm fine with that. I'll have a lot of Blink Stalkers very soon, and Immortals to boot. Has to take down his old pylon to let that Immortal out. That's funny. So Targa is going to see no gases at the 3rd base. And just by that indicator, he's going to know that, you gotta have a lot of gateways somewhere. So even if he did not see these 4, he already knows what is up. And Verdi should be going for an attack relatively soon. Takes the initial 2 gases, so maybe thinking of a transition later on in the case this attack does not work. He knows he's on the clock a little bit because Targa has that gold base. So Verdi going to take his 4th while pushing out. Targa's army is quite strong and quite big. These rocks have already been taken down, so this is going to make the defense for Targa a lot easier. And I really love the fact that he's using these links for counterattacks all the time, or just, you know, if not counterattacks, then just pokes. Now he knows that Blink is already in play. He no doubt checked the upgrades as well, so he's going to back off for the time being. And I wouldn't mind for Targa to move up into Hive Tech and get a couple of Vipers out. Those are going to be instrumental later on in the fights. As Verdi pretty much has not been warping in any units, he's transitioning into Colossi, getting his +3 upgrades. Targa has to make a move right now. There's a Warprism in the main base of his, but he takes that down quite promptly while attacking the natural base. The sentries are way out of position. They cannot manage this army appropriately, and Verdi is going to incur at least some losses over here. The force fields do go down. Targa will have to back off, at least for the time being, but at the same time, this cuts off Verdi from defending his natural base, so Targa could potentially run a couple of roaches in there, and he's doing just that. Going to unpower these 2 gateways, that always helps. And right now, Targa in a beautiful position here, position-wise, in terms of where his units are out on the terrain. He tried to target down the Nexus for a little while, but that may have been a mistake. He may have gotten more probe kills out of that. had he not done that, and has to retreat with the rest of his army. But you know, he only sacrificed roaches for this, and he did kill 7 probes. That wasn't a worthwhile attack, not by my standards in the very least. Hive is on the way, but we already have Templar archives, so Verdi's gonna have High Templars for feedbacks out on the field by the time Targa gets those Vipers. His Hydra count is not that high neither, only 12 Hydralisks. He's kind of afraid of getting hard countered by Colossi and Storm, I think. And we don't have a Spire out on the field neither, so as game goes on, Verdi is getting into a better and better spot over time. He'll be on 4 bases. Targa's army is quite big, but I don't know if it's equipped to deal with this. And Vipers are still a long ways off. With a couple good force fields, this army can take this fight. Targa trying to close in. Here come the force fields, separating the top segment of Targa's army. The Colossus still standing. Targa not having much luck bringing that one down despite the range not being done, so that Colossus is a little bit vulnerable. But look at this. Verdi, he lost all of his sentries, having to replace those. He's out of force fields. And this army is backed into a corner. Targa getting a good engagement for once. Nice concave, forcing all the units all the way back. Gets the Immortal. Zealot's really not contributing to this fight neither. Targa transitioning into Swarm Hosts in the meantime, so he's trading this army very effectively right now. Getting only 1 drones, but in terms of what units he's killed, that was a very nice exchange for him. He got 1 Colossus, 25 Stalkers, and an Immortal to boot. And he's going, as a bonus, he's going to take out that 4th base. I don't think there's much that Verdi can do about that. Targa still continuing to trade. Maybe looking for another Colossus snipe, but I think he should really target fire down that Nexus and just escape via the right side of the map. Because this is not a good position to fight in. And yeah, I think he's going to just leave 2 Hydras there. Or he may try to finish the game straight up. He doesn't see any... Oh, 2 High Templars with this army. 4 now, but almost 0 sentries. But luckily for him, there are no DTs out on the field. We don't have a Dark Shrine anywhere, I don't think. Because Targa right now is pretty vulnerable to DT counterattacks. So that's just about the only hole in his play so far. He's played a brilliant game. And Verdi is going to be on 2 mining bases very shortly here once this Nexus goes down. Does Targa have Burrow? No, he does not, but somehow he managed to sneak those roaches. Tries to go for another counterattack with the Lynx. That is unsuccessful, but the Nexus does go down. And Targa now on the field with Swarm Hosts and Vipers, plus 3 on the way. This is going to be a scary, scary army to engage into for Verdi. Oh my god! 2 Colossi for free. 1 feedback on one of the Vipers. Did get it, did kill it in fact. But losing 2 Colossi. Soon to be up against Swarm Hosts with no AoE. We don't even have a Stargate for potential Tempest to come out. So things are not looking good for Verdi. These Hydras are really the heroes of today. Having killed that Nexus all by themselves, they could attack this building if they wanted to. So Verdi, my guess, he's like, I'm going to build as big of an army as I can. I'm going to take the gold as I'm moving out. Because frankly, there's nothing else he can do right now. He sees the Swarm Hosts, has to be very careful of how he engages this. The Stalkers are actually working against the Zealots, and he only has 1 Colossus. Plenty of Storms though, but this is kind of like a one-shot attack. If this attack does not work, you're out of Storm, you're out of Colossi, and you pretty much will have to fall back to something else. Multiple Storms going down on all the Swarm Hosts, Hydras and Roaches. 1 Colossus remaining, but I think this next wave of Locusts and Roach Hydra is going to seal the deal here for Verdi. Targa will take game number 1 as Verdi He does have a lot of resources backed up, but no additional bases. GG's out of the game. Targa taking the first one.